All right, good morning, everyone. What is happening? What is going on? What is good? Hope you all are doing fantastic. Guys, I have a pretty ghetto setup here, so apologies if you can hear notifications in the background. I have to actually keep them on just in case I get something important coming up, but we should be all good. So guys, today I thought I would do a tutorial on how to use Final Cut Pro, how to edit a video in Final Cut Pro X, because I've done little videos here and there, just how to import, how to export, that sort of stuff, but I've never actually done a full-on video on how to edit in Final Cut Pro. So yeah, I thought I'd just do one today. So guys, let's get straight into it, man. Before I get into this though, please do hit the like button, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram as well, because if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, but also just fire a question into Instagram. I'm on there quite a lot actually, so I tend to see messages a lot more easier there. But anyways, excuse that voice crack. So guys, first of all, you're gonna open up Final Cut Pro. It'll come to this. So what we're gonna do, what I always start off with is I start with creating a new event. Okay, so we're gonna go to File, New, and we're gonna go to Event here, and we'll just call this Day at the Park. Okay, so your event is basically where the project and the clips are gonna be. So you need to create an event. Just always, if you're doing a different project, create a separate event so everything's kind of in order. So over here I have, does it waffle, Iola, blah blah blah. So everything has its own place. So all I need to do is just if I want to go to Iola, I'll click here, and everything Iola based is going to be in here. As you can see, the project. So there's different types of projects within that same thing, in here. So everything's all just neat, easy to find, helps better with your workflow, a lot more organized. So Day at the Park. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a project, right? So this is where you're going to be able to, because look over here, we have a project here, but this belongs to Iola Insta Story Video 2. So we don't want to mix all of this, so we're going to create a separate project within that. So you're going to just make sure Day at the Park is highlighted, and then you're going to go to New Project, and then we're going to type in Day at the Park. Okay, so always make sure here in the event that it is in the right event, because sometimes even though you've clicked here, it'll have a different project. So make sure the project is selected, Day at the Park, the right one. So with your video starting time code, always make sure it's 00000. Don't fiddle around with that. It's just you don't want to. Video format 1080p HD, that's perfect. Unless you're obviously using 2K, 4K, 5K, then you change it up. Resolution 920 by 1080. This is basically standard for YouTube videos. If you want to make a square video for Instagram, for example, what you do is you go to Custom, then you go to here and you change that to 1080. So now for Instagram, for a square version, is 1080 by 1080. If you want it for Instagram stories or TikTok, then you go 920 by, or is it 1080 by 920? Hold on, let me just double check that, guys. I get kind of mixed up with numbers. Yeah, so it'll be 1080 by 1920. So we're gonna go 1080 by 1920. So 1080 by 1920, that is for Instagram stories, TikTok. 1080 by 1080 is square. Usually these are good for Facebook or for Instagram feeds. And then 1920 by 1080 is your YouTube. Just very standard, okay? So Day at the Park. And then your frame rate, just keep that at 23 by 98p, which is officially 24 frames per second. Rendering Apple ProRes 422, codec, and then the color space standard Rec 709, and then keep that just the way it is, and you are good to go. So this now here is your Day at the Park project. You can see that there. The project name will come up. Guys, try and avoid not titling your projects, because untitled is just so annoying, man. Just title it something, okay? So we have a project here and we have this here. Next, we're going to want to bring in the video. There's many ways you can do this, but let's for now just go to File, Import Media, and we're gonna drag like a file from my desktop. Now if you're dragging a file from your SD card, all you do is just plug it in, and then it'll automatically just come up, and all you do is just select the files that you want, and you shall be good to go. So I'm gonna bring in a file, like a project that I've already edited, so we'll do that one there. Now you want to make sure over here, add to existing event, day at the park. Cool. Or if you want to create a new event, you can do so, but this is what we want, and you're going to go import selected. So now the file will get sent to your day at the park event. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to select that, and we're going to bring it into here, the timeline. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to wait for this to load up. Try and not like do a project, try not like start editing a project while this thingy is happening, because it's I mean, I already kind of jumped the gun a bit and, you know, brought that into the timeline while it was importing media, but that shouldn't be a huge problem. But you just want to make sure everything is loaded up before you start doing your project, because yeah, otherwise you will start having issues with lag, and then like loading issues will be a huge problem, especially with rendering and stuff too. So just let everything kind of do its thing before you start editing. So that is good to go. That has been fully imported. Great. I'm going to just mute this so we don't have to hear it. Now we have the file here. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's just cut this up a little bit so that it looks like it's multiple clips. Cool. Okay, so we have these 3 clips here, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to start by enabling these 3 things here. We want to enable these, okay? So this is like video and audio skimming. So this will basically, like, look here, look at my cursor right now. Nothing's coming up, right? You enable this, that's going to be enabled as well, and you can skim through, you know, like very specifically skim through. Now what we're going to do is we're also going to enable the snapping. Snapping is fantastic because watch this, okay? If you can see here, these bars, it'll snap it. It's kind of hard to see until you do it, but it'll basically snap to, like, look at that. As opposed to, it kind of does the same thing. Never mind. Hold on a second, actually. You know what, just turn it on, okay? I'm pretty sure someone in the comment section will know what the hell that does. So, the most important things that you need to know is how to cut, right? So, instead of you going here, changing that to blade, and then, you know, like having to zoom in and cut and all that kind of stuff, try and learn the shortcuts. So the shortcuts are here. All you have to do is press B. So we're going to press B, and it changes it automatically. Or what you can do, which is a lot better, is you can click on Control B, okay, and boom, look at that, it just cuts it for you. So let's say, for example, you're watching the video, you're like, oh, don't like that bit, right? You stop there, and then all you do is Control B, and it'll cut it for you, okay? And then if you want to undo it, just Control Z, and you're there. Now, if we want to add, let's say, black and white, right? We click on the clip here. You're going to click on this. This is for plugins, or effects as they call it. And this one right next to it, this is for transitions, okay? So we'll go for the effects first. You have a bunch of stuff here, okay? If you click on all, you can kind of just like type in what you want, and it should be there. So let's go black and white. I don't like using that black and white. What I prefer doing is I like to go to color correction. So you double click. So if you double click on that while like one of your clips is highlighted, it will actually add it. You don't have to drag it in. So now your effect will be here in the effects panel. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this here, and we're going to change this to black and white. So you have your exposure, saturation, you have your color. So we're going to go to saturation. We're going to bring the saturation down so it's black and white, and we're going to fiddle around with the exposure. We can make it pretty dramatic, or we can make it very kind of like faded. Sorry guys, that is my alarm. So yeah, we can play around with it quite a bit. So for now, we'll just do that, like so, and then we'll go back. And then you can add a lot more things to it. You can add like noise if you want. You can add aged film. There's so much that you can do. And all you literally just like, you don't even have to drag it. Just make sure that that's highlighted and then just double click and it'll do it for you, okay? Now, if you want to, let's say, disable an effect, all you do is just untick that and watch. It's gone, okay? Now, let's say, for example, you're just like, okay, I've disabled that. I don't want it. So all you do is you make sure that, like, look at this, right? That's enabled. You just delete. And then once again, delete, okay? And then here, we'll keep that, but you know, you get the picture. Now, obviously, if you want to like bring the clip in more, you go to transform and then you scale. Boom, boom, like so. Lots of cool things you can do. Now, remember, guys, this is like editing just for beginners, so it's very, very simple editing stuff. I'm just kind of showing you what you need in order to know how to make a video, you know? So let's say, for example, you wanted to add some text to your video. You're gonna go here where it says T for text, and you will have a bunch of different types of text that you can use. I don't like using these crazy things, so I'll just go for like a basic title. So we just drag that on here. Okay, so watch this now. Okay, look, it's loading. So you're gonna watch here. You're gonna wait. You're gonna wait. You're gonna wait. And there you go. So this bit will come up. Now you can title it whatever you want. Hello. And you can play around with the font, and you can play around with like how light it is or like how bold it is. There's a lot of cool things here as well, like line spacing. This actually, it doesn't do anything, believe it or not. So I'm just gonna leave that the way it is. I like this tracking though, because this kind of separates the letters from each other, which is nice. So yeah, there's so much here. If you want to change the color, go to face, and then you can just change the color how you want it. So let's go for something kind of aesthetic, okay? I like yellow. Yellow with black and white is always really nice. So we have, we've got the title there. And let's say now, for example, instead of having like a harsh kind of like intro for the title, we want it to kind of just be nice and smooth, right? What we're gonna do, we're gonna go to our transition panel here. And you have tons to choose from, but I always go for the cross dissolve because it's the most nicest one, you know? I don't like going crazy with like effects and everything. I like to keep my stuff as simple as possible. So you're just gonna drag that onto your text. We'll remove that, we'll just keep that for now. And we'll just let that load. Because if we do too much, it's gonna have an issue with like loading, especially my laptop. My laptop's super old, so it kind of has a hard time processing all the stuff it needs to do super quick. And it ends up just freezing. But what you will find now is you have a nice, so the clip is here, watch it go, and then watch the title come in nice and slowly. There we go, just like that. Okay, simple as that. Let's say we wanna shorten the title. So this is an issue here. Okay, make sure you sort out the length of your title before adding the cross dissolve and all that kind of stuff. So we just do that. So this will automatically appear. You don't have to press anything to shorten it. So all you do is just hover the cursor at the end of the title clip, bring it down like so. And that goes for clips as well. So watch this, okay? Look, cursor is just like that. When I hover to the end, boom, it'll do that, and then I can just kind of change it, make it shorter, make it longer. But I mean, if you want to kind of like, you know, have a shortcut to doing it, all you just do is just like, you know, Control B and then slice it. It just depends on like how you're feeling when you're editing. If you're in the mood to kind of just like, you know, like drag it, then go for it. If you're in the mood to like cut it, then just cut it. But yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's really as simple as that. And I mean, all you do now is just go crazy with like how you want to edit it, you know. Those are basically the basics. Cut and just like drag. That's all I use. I don't use like range selection and zoom and hand. I don't use any of those. I don't know what they're for, to be honest, because all I do with my videos is I just cut and that's it. And then, like, let's say for example you want to move a clip, right? All you do is you hold down your mouse pad and just drag it, and it'll move just like that. I'm pretty sure what the hand is, that's what the hand is for, but there you go. Fun fact of the day, man. Okay, so let's say now you want to export, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to go to File. I'm pretty sure, by the way, there are a lot of things you guys have questions for. Once again, I'm going through the absolute basics. In fact, you know what, let's do stuff with the audio before I go to exporting, because that's an important one too. Let's say you want to fix your audio, right? First of all, you can go here. I mean, you can play around with the volumes here. So once again, all you do is with your cursor, just hover over the audio and it'll change it by itself. So you can bring the levels up and down, or you can go here to the audio icon, the speaker icon, and you can change the levels from here. You can also do EQing. Let's say for example, your audio sounds a bit too muffly or too bassy, you want to add some treble. All you do is you go to your EQ, so you enable that. So now the EQ is enabled on that clip. Go to your, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. So you go to this icon here. So see where it says flat? Click on this icon and it'll come up with an EQ. Whoops, sorry. It's going to come up with an EQ. Now, this is fun. Let's say it's too bassy, right? You're going to take the bass down. So the bass is here. The bass frequencies are here. Mid frequencies are in the middle, and then your treble frequencies are here on the right hand side. Have a play. Have a play. Bring the treble up if you want. You know, just play around with it. Now let's say you want some effects on your audio, okay? There's some cool effects that you can use. What you do is you go down here and you'll see audio, and then you have all the audio effects here. So let's say you want an echo. Click on echo, and then there's a bunch of honestly, you can end up spending a lot of time just going through all these effects, but you have a bunch of echo effects here. Once again, all you do is make sure that's highlighted, and then let's go for delay designer. I don't know what any of this does, and you'll see there, watch this, okay? I'll delete it again. Watch, boom, it's going to be there. Now you can go through specifics, all right? So you can go to parameters, and this is where you change like the intensity of the effect by clicking on parameters. Or you have presets, which kind of, it just has these presets for you. You can just click on them. It's just a lot easier. Usually the parameters are if you want to do very specific things, very specific changes. Let's say you want to bring it down just like, you know, minus like 9, you know, then that's what the parameters are for. So it's pretty great. You can get to real specifics. This is something that Premiere also offers, is just a lot more specifics you can get into. So yes, this is one thing that actually one of my videos did really well, is a letterbox. Let's say you want to make this look cinematic, right? So click onto your effects, click all, type in letterbox, and it will it'll add the letterbox. So once again, click here. This is where your effects are for the video. So this is video effects, audio effects, and then this is information to show you what, you know, the information about the clip. So 920 by 1080, 23 frames per second. Perfect, I'm happy with that. So we're gonna add a letterbox here, and watch this. Look at that. It looks like you're doing like a Netflix interview now or something. How cool is that, right? Very cinematic. So I'm just waiting for that to load up. And then I'm going to show you how to export a video, because that's important too. Wow, it's almost a 20-minute video. Cool. So we wait for it to load up. So exporting is quite important, guys. I'd honestly say please stay for this part. Don't get dissuaded because you're bored. We just got to wait for this. In fact, what I'm also going to do is I will delete this here like that. Cool. So now we want to export. What do? There's a few ways you can do this. All right, you can either go Control E, and it will that's basically your shortcut to exporting. This whenever I do this, it freezes my laptop sometimes, but there we go. So you can do that. You can also click on File, Share, master file. You always want to share a master file, right? And it'll take you to the same thing. Or you can click on here, this button right there, and then master file. So there's 3 ways you can share a project. Why? I do not know, but I don't care. So we want to make sure we go to the settings first. We want to make sure these are all good. So your format is video and audio, yes, because if you just do video only, your audio will not export. If you do audio only, your video will not export. So make sure it's video and audio, okay? Video codec. Now, for the majority of the people that are doing videos for YouTube, H.264 is what you want. This is like the most common compressed file. If you want big files, if you're doing quite big projects where, you know, the client will ask you for larger files, they'll say we want Apple ProRes, then you have all these uncompressed versions and they are huge. Watch this, okay? At the moment, this clip is 79.1 MB, megabytes. We click on Apple ProRes 422 HQ, watch this. That's gonna go to 748. This, bear in mind, is for like a 5-second clip, okay? Uncompressed, 10-bit, 4 gigabytes. That is for like I said, like a 5-second clip, okay? So you can only imagine if you've got like a 3-minute video or like a 10-minute video, it's gonna be big files. So we stick with H.264. We're happy with that. Everything here looks good. Yep, all good. So you're gonna click on next. And what you're wanting to do now is, I always do this, new folder, day at the park, create, and I always save stuff on my desktop, okay? So now the day at the park folder is at desktop. I'm gonna go day at the park. I'd like to make my titles as specific as possible. YouTube version. And we're gonna click save. So now your project is exporting. It might be very quick that we don't use, no, there we go, cool. Nice. The 32. This is a 32-second clip. I don't know why it's taking this long. Actually, usually doesn't take that long, but we'll stick with it because I do want to show you how, what the file will look like when it's done. By the way, while we're waiting, I have a lot of tutorials on my channel. There are ones to show you how to actually export a project file rather than just like a file. Okay. So that's a lot different from this, what we're doing. So go ahead, check that out. Also check out all my other ones. I have a video where it shows you how to keyframe. Keyframing made easier because I did one before which was a lot more complicated until I figured out how to keyframe in a lot more easier way. So check that out too. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. I mean, you can click off now if you want, if you get the idea, but we're halfway there, guys. Just stick with it and I will show you the final bit. I'll show you where your file is going to be, because believe it or not, most people actually mess up with this last bit. You can actually click on this and you can see the percentage there. Now bear in mind, if you're doing like an Apple ProRes 422 HQ or an uncompressed file format, this will take forever. Good way to go watch Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or something like that, man. Cool. So now your file, it'll say share successful, share master file was successful. Click close. It'll automatically open the video up for you in QuickTime Player. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, QuickTime. So we're going to minimize this. We're going to now, sorry for the messy desktop, by the way. I just finished like a big project. So yeah, day at the park is going to be here. And boom, it'll be right there. Now, sometimes your thumbnail won't show. That's fine. It doesn't mean that the file is corrupt or anything. It's just usually your laptop. My laptop's like a mess right now. So, but yeah, that's where it's going to be. And guys, that is it. And then all you do, you don't have to save, by the way. What do you call it? Final Cut automatically saves for you. So if you press X, you come back to it, your thing's going to be there, okay? Now, if you want to delete this, all you do is you just click, right click. Or by the way, if you want to rename a project, an event, all you do is just click on like a letter, and then you have the ability to change the title, and it'll just move down here. If you want to create another project file in this event, remember how I taught you, just create a new project file, it's going to be there. If you want to rename this project file, just click on that, boom, you can call it whatever you want. and then just click X and you're done. But that is it from me, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This video will honestly help you just kind of be able to edit a video, like a simple video. If you want any specifics, it will be on YouTube for you. But check out my videos, my tutorials. I do a lot to show you what you need to do. And yeah, guys, that is it for me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day. I'm tired of talking now. Peace.